Hi guys, welcome to another Languages with Danny video. And today I wanted to provide an update. So now I'm at 300 hours in Spanish, and I wanted to actually compare that to the progress chart that Dreaming Spanish has on their site. So that's what we're gonna do today. Is we're gonna read Dreaming Spanish's progress. So I'm gonna read the 300 hours one, level 4, and we're gonna see if it matches up. So stay tuned. So Dreaming Spanish says I'm at the intermediate level, and I can understand a patient native speaker. I might still miss some words, but the speaker can explain the meaning to you without resorting to translation. Okay, I do feel like I'm at the intermediate level. But I would still, maybe I'm being harsh on myself, but I'd still consider myself an A2 or a very low B1, just because maybe it's the more I learn, the more I realize I don't know much, because there's just so many words, so much vocab, so much slang. So I feel like, I'm actually like A2. But yeah, maybe I'm at B1. I wouldn't obviously put myself any higher than that. I can understand a patient native speaker. I actually think my listening skills are quite good. I think they've always been more advanced just for some reason. So the speaker doesn't have to slow down. I can actually just understand someone talking at their normal speed. But I do miss some words still, and so I would need for the person speaking to me in Spanish to go over and just repeat some things, because I can get the context, but not, there are still some words that are important to the meaning of the sentence that I'm like, oh, can you repeat that, or what does that mean? So yes, that's true. I can understand a range of daily topics without visual support like drawings or pictures. Yep, that's true. And the sounds of the language are becoming clearer now, and you are getting used to how the sounds are likely to be combined. That's true as well. Like I said, my listening is great. And I think which is a tip for anyone else that's learning Spanish. A tip that I would give you is learn vocab lists. I know a lot of people are like, no, don't learn vocab, just watch Netflix, but it's so helpful when I use Anki, and when you actually repeat all of the vocab, the most common vocab that speakers use in day-to-day life, you're going to naturally understand more in the conversation anyway, because you know like most of the words in there, and because you know most of the words in there, your listening is going to improve because you know exactly, oh, that word means that, you know what I mean? So yeah, learn vocab lists, and that helped me. So if I tried speaking at a store, you could get your point across most of the time, but you still struggle producing even some basic words. Yes, I would say that's true. I think my speaking in general is still really bad, because I can't, I still have to translate in English in my head, and then translate in Spanish in my head. So I have the English and then I translate that into Spanish. And as you know, you can't really do that with any language, especially not with Spanish. It sounds very weird when you're translating words direct from English to Spanish. And yeah, so I really struggle with speaking still. And yeah, so I could probably get my point across, but I would sound very childish and elementary, even ordering things. But someone would be able to understand me. Making friends in the language is now possible, but you need to find people who are quite patient, because not everybody will want to make that effort. Depending on your tolerance for getting negative reactions, you may want to wait a bit longer before speaking. I think I wouldn't even be able to make friends in the language. That is the one thing that I actually disagree with. I think, as I said before, my speaking is still rubbish. And I think in order to really make friends, really make friends, I think I would have to be at a super high level where I'm putting slang in and, I'm able to just speak without translating in my head and stuff. Like, at this level, I wouldn't say I could make friends, like proper friends in Spanish and be able to just communicate and, like normal. I don't think I'd be able to do that just yet. And have like conversations about anything, I don't think I'd be at that level yet at all. So no. No. I mean, they did say like you need to find someone that's patient. But yeah, that's the thing. I think at this level, at least for me, that person would need to be extremely patient to the point where we wouldn't even be able to be friends just yet. So no, I don't think so. So I'm gonna also move on to the what you are learning part, and see if that matches up as well. So, what you are learning, in this phase, you learn many common function words that are taught right at the beginning of most language courses. These words are used very frequently, but carry very little meaning. So, for example, the verb to be, prepositions in, at, on, conjunctions, therefore, so, and even some pronouns. And once you become aware of a new word, you'll encounter it everywhere. That's true. I think the more you learn, the more things that are like really basic, like the difference between ser and estar, it becomes extremely more apparent, the different usages that you can use, the different like words in the prepositions de or en or a. It's like, oh, I'm still like getting myself used to them, those prepositions, and it's something that you learn at the very start. So that's true. Like, and I don't even feel like I've mastered the many usages of those words yet. So yeah, that's true. At this point, you may start feeling that there are many words that you don't know more than the words that you do know. The exposure to less controlled speech allows you to notice many new words. Yes. That's where I am at now, is I realize that, like, I feel like when you're a very beginner and you learn like the first 200 words or so, you're like, oh, I know everything that I need to know. Like, I can order food and I can ask for coffee. But then when you keep learning, there's so much vocab. There is that much vocab that it's like, I know nothing. I don't really know how to fully express myself in Spanish because there are just so many words and so many synonyms of those words. Same in English, and it's like, oh wow. I don't know a lot. So yes, that's very true. But it does say at the end, by this point, you are full on acquiring all kinds of vocab, both concrete and abstract. And that's so true. That's true. I'm picking up on so much vocab because the more vocab you know, the more it gives you a chance to focus on new words rather than, so if there's a new sentence, like, even if it's like harder vocab, because I kind of use Anki as vocab and I'm learning a lot of common words. So if I see a sentence, like, I know, okay, these are the words that I do know. Maybe there's 2 words that I don't know. And I can just acquire that really fast. So I can focus on words that I don't know rather than trying to learn 10 new difficult words that don't appear as frequently. So yes, again, that's why I recommend Anki, because a lot of the times, if you just watch things, there's only going to be a certain amount of words that you can acquire. However, if you use like vocab lists where it's like the top 10,000 or the top 6,000 most common words, then at least like you're exposing yourself to less frequent words. And then when you see those words or other words, you can just focus on retaining those words, because there's just that many words that I don't think you can just learn all of that just through watching things. I mean, you can, but it would take years. So yeah, because of the way I'm doing it, I am learning a lot of abstract and concrete words a lot quicker. So that's true as well. So yes. So finally, we'll go through the what you need to do and see if that matches up with what I'm doing. So what you need to do, listen a lot. So I can understand videos or classes in which the teacher doesn't use any visual cues and can now benefit from listening extensively to audios and podcasts for learners everywhere you go, anytime you can. That's true. I'm listening a lot. I'm watching a lot of Netflix, but I'm also listening to podcasts. And other audios. I can recommend Easy Spanish podcast. That's very, very good for learners. Crosstalk is still the best, most efficient way to improve. I don't really use Crosstalk. I do communicate with people in Spanish now and then, and I use italki Teacher. I don't think that's the same as Crosstalk, but I am speaking to people, and they do correct me. So, it does say speaking this early will invariably result in hard to fix non-native pronunciation, noticeably bad grammar and poor word usage. And yeah, that's true. Like, as I said, my speaking is horrible. So, yeah, the only things that come to mind easily, like they said, is simple sentences, or even single words. I can't really make complex sentences just yet. And I actually agree with this. Like, if complex sentences don't come naturally, which they don't to me just yet at this level, I don't even try to force it anymore. Like, this is what I have for you. I hope that you can understand me, and 9 times out of 10 they do. So reading is still not recommended if you care about your final achievement in pronunciation. Yes. Let's see. I do read. I do read because I love to read. And if I feel like reading, I do read. I don't know whether or not that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm trying to listen more than I speak at this stage, so at least I know, okay, that's how that word is pronounced. If I'm not sure how the word is pronounced, I do go on like DeepL, for example, and I just type in the word and see how it's pronounced. The thing about Spanish, though, is it's a very phonetic language. Is phonetic the right word to use? Like, every word is kind of said how it's spelt anyway, so I don't feel too bad about reading. It's nothing like, for example, French or English, where I don't think you should be reading if you were to like learn English, for example, like, or French or languages like that, where the written form is completely different to the spoken form. But with Spanish, I think it's okay. So yeah, I like to read anyway, even if it's gonna give me bad. I like to read, and I think learning a language, you should just do what you like. Just do what you want, do what you like to do, and do it a lot. But yeah, finally, you can understand slightly more difficult books. Or by now you could understand slightly more difficult books, but still mostly just graded readers. Yes, that's true. I downloaded and I tested it. I downloaded like a book that uses a lot more flowery language and could not get through the first page. Not at this level. So I'm reading a book for like young teenagers. I think it's young teens or tweens. And I can get through maybe like 2 pages in 10 minutes, which it's still crap, I know, but you can see the difference. I can't get through the first page, in a more complex book, whereas with like a book for tweens or teens, I can get through a couple pages in like an hour, which I think is good. So yes, I agree with Dreaming Spanish, me at 300 hours. So yeah, I will check back in once I get to 600 hours, which is the next level 5. So I will check in at that time and let you all know if I'm at that level, if I agree with Dreaming Spanish. But my overall consensus is yes, I do agree with Dreaming Spanish. Dreaming Spanish's level 4 guide. But yes, I also want to preface this by saying, again, I don't use Dreaming Spanish. I use other methods of learning Spanish. If you want to know what those methods are, go watch my previous video on my channel. I show you exactly what I do to learn Spanish. But I do think the levels are still accurate because the FSI does say it takes 750 hours to get to a decent level at Spanish. But remember, I just like times that by 2, which is 1500. So it's accurate. So that's why I use Dreaming Spanish's level, because it's actually accurate. Well, I think so anyway. So yes, guys, that's the end of my video. If you have any questions or your own experiences, please leave them in the description. I'd love to read them. And yes, thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.